Hey, welcome back to part 2 of test module 1 on the dish room, where we're going to talk about the chemicals and shutting the unit down. So let's get started. Hey, now that we've talked about the dishwasher, let's talk about the chemicals that allow it to do its job. Here we have our soap and our rinse agent. Now the soap is a solid block soap that's in a prefab container. We remove the lid, drop it into the container, and let it go. We have a rinse agent that when it runs out, all we do is put the new bottle in, screw the new lid on, and we're back online. Now, how do you know when these need to be changed? We have a monitoring system that when it detects these are empty, will start an alarm sound at the end of each cycle. So if you happen to be washing dishes and you hear the alarm go off, please stop for a second and think about what it could be. Most likely our soap or our rinse agent is out. So what do we do if our dishwasher breaks down? We're going to fall back on Old Faithful here, the 3-bay sink. 3-bay sink is broken down into the wash bay, the rinse bay, and the sanitize bay. We use an automatic Ecolab dispenser to measure out the right amount of soap into our wash bay and the correct amount of sanitizer into the sanitizer bay. So we'll have hot water in our soap, we'll have a hot rinse, and we'll have a room temperature sanitize. Now some will ask, why do we need a room temperature sanitize? And this is very important that we understand that it has to be room temperature because we're not running 180, 190 degree water which will kill that bacteria. We're having a chemical do it, and for the chemical to do it, it has to be on the dish long enough to kill the bacteria. So we use room temperature water so that the water will stay, the chemical will stay active on the dish for a longer period of time. Ultimately, we can wash, rinse, and sanitize, load it into a clean rack, and move it over to the long rack or the long table where we normally put our clean dishes, and everything will be just fine. Hey, everything we've covered so far has been very important, and everything that we've accomplished up to this point all hinges now on the end of the day and the shutting down of the machine. There are a few basic steps. We're going to power down the unit, we're going to raise the door and open the drain, and we're going to remove this trap. The trap is what catches all the garbage that we didn't get off by using the sprayer here. We're going to empty that trap out, we're going to hose it down, clean it out really well, and we'll leave it over in the disposal just as a place where we can keep it to kind of give an indication that we're finished. I want us to use a bucket of soapy water. We're going to scrub the backsplashes and everything down real quickly with a Brillo pad or with a steel wool. Nothing overly heavy. If we do it every day, it doesn't take a lot of extra work. It's only when we skip the basic processes for months and months at a time, and then we have to come in and really heavily degrease and clean everything. So we're going to shut it down, wipe it down, dry it out, to include the 3-bay sink, and to make sure we're ready for the next day when it all starts over again. Enjoy. So at the end of the day, everything's said and done. The dish room is wrapped up. There are very few things we just really have to get our head around. The proper rack for the proper job, the proper loading of those racks, bowls down, blades down, pans spaced out so water can get both up and down on all the surfaces at the same time. The proper cleaning, the proper use of the disposal, no pasta, no rice, the cleaning of the filters. Let's get in there and make sure it's right. Let's don't just spray it down and say we did it and walk away. Let's make sure that we're giving it all we can. We're going to wipe down the surfaces with soap and the steel wool. We're going to wipe them down with sanitizer, and then we're going to be able to leave out of here with a fresh, clean kitchen ready to go the next day. Hey, well, that concludes part 2 of test module 1 on the dish room. I hope you learned some good information there and that you'll consider everything that we've discussed. Stay tuned for the next video, which is called Where Does It All Belong?, where we talk about where does it all go, where do we put everything and why. So I hope you'll pick up some good information there as well. Stay tuned.